My story that actually helped people was the fact that I was a wreck at some point, and just opening up that I had this very successful corporate career, that everybody thought that I was crazy to leave the company that I worked for before and eventually the big international organization that I worked for, to go into the unknown. And the fact is there is a lot of people out there that is in the same boat, that they feel they're doing the right thing and that they shouldn't share the fact that they're very unhealthy, they are emotionally broken, and you know, they can't keep a relationship and they can't keep a gym membership and actually going, you know, that sort of thing. Like, I was hiding all that.
In 2012, I was in a major bicycle accident with a car, and I sustained a lot of injuries that healed on me, but I also had a traumatic brain injury that left me with level 10 headaches every day, and I had anxiety, depression. I couldn't be around noise or bright lights. About 2.5, 3 years later, when they finally said, "We've done everything we can for you," and I gave my power to them, wondering, you know, wishing that something was going to heal me.
Though I was eating healthy, I didn't feel great. My brain wasn't really working the way I knew it could. My nails were soft, my hair was falling out, I had bad sugar craving.
When I came to the United States, the one thing that really threw me off was the fact that they had food in cans. Something as simple as fresh corn was already pre-cooked.
I remember I started seeing really dark patches on my face, and I was at the time super fatigued in the middle of this high-stress court case that we were working on for the law firm. But once I started noticing like physical appearance of these dark patches on my face, now known as melasma, I started to get really worried. I said, what's going on with my body? And that's when I had to start looking at, okay, you're drinking Diet Coke and eating Pop-Tarts all day. There's something better that you need to be doing for your body.
Well, I opened a health and wellness boutique hotel in Nicaragua, which is also Nicaragua's first 100% vegan hotel. My first year was just trying to get the head above the water. And any entrepreneur that I have spoken to completely resonates, whether they're having an online business or a practice or whatever that looks like.
There's one morning in the kitchen that I just said, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I know that food can change everything in your life? And why didn't other people tell me this? And I just felt at that time that even though I could see my future going back to my old safe job that I used to love, that wasn't my path. That I went through all that pain. I had this tragic gift because this is the purpose of my life. My life is here to help other people heal, and that suffering really is optional.
It sort of came through necessity. I was trying to heal myself. I figured out, okay, I think juicing, which was just like an idea in my head, I think juicing is the best way to go. So I bought the Norwalk juicer, which cost me like fortune, and started juicing like there was no tomorrow. Did my 3-week juice cleanse, felt absolutely amazing.
When I was pregnant, I realized that even the baby food sector was even worse. And I started hosting classes to teach parents how to make healthy food, how to make snacks at home, and for those who don't have the time to make food at home, how to read labels. Even when I would teach these workshops, I have moms who come back over and over, and because when we do the workshops, we'll cook a batch of food and people will take it home. And I realized that what they wanted was the convenience of this type of food that somebody else made. And the big question was, why wasn't anybody making food like this?
So I started literally, bringing juices to people like, my friends that were living uptown, downtown, midtown, wherever, on city bike. And then, I was like, oh yeah, pay me like $30, I don't care, and then it sort of like grew from there. I was like, oh my God, there's like, people actually like this. They're actually feeling good. Why not, build this into something that could really be like a home base? And I always wanted there to be like an actual space so that people could meet and that there could be some sort of community around it. Because obviously there was the thought, oh, do you just do online? But for me, it was really important for people to also see, like, this is where the juices are made, this is where the food is made. It's all really transparent, and people also could have access to me. And I also want to, like, communicate with everybody else. So it sort of made sense for me to open up the space. And the idea just came. It was like, oh, magic mix. Like, it is, you know, magical, because you feel magical when you're eating and drinking these, you know, plant-based foods.
That let's open a superfood brand. So we opened Have a Super Life. It's our superfood brand, which our mission is to make healthy eating easy for people and to inspire people to have a super life. And we specialize in superfood blends. So we took my unique recipes. I had one for the breakfast, which was more in whole food form, and one for the smoothie, which is in powdered form, and we just put them all into one pouch. One for the breakfast topping, superfood breakfast topping, superfood smoothie mix, and we launched Have a Super Life in Ireland in 2011.
I work now with people individually, one-on-one, on their health goals. That's in person and also online over video. I also work with health coaches now.
So in 2006, I launched my company, Yummy Spoonfuls, where we make fresh, organic food for kids with no preservatives.
The philosophy is always with me. I always talk about primary foods and secondary foods and adding in and crowding out and bio-individuality and progress and not perfection and baby steps. And it's just IIN is always there with me in everything I'm doing, and Have a Super Life. And it's just, and I just want to really thank IIN. This would have never happened without me coming and studying here.
So I'm so grateful to IIN, and I was probably unlike others, is that I read one article in a magazine about IIN and I called up and I signed up that day. I just felt so strongly about my passion and my purpose that I just felt like that's what I needed to do. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know how I was actually going to get there, because months before I was eating junk food, but it was such a strong conviction within me that I signed up and never looked back. I started a full-time business right away after school.
Through the program, I learned that it was okay, that actually sharing that weakness was actually what will help others, because we are in the same boat. That if I can make the transformation, so can you. If I can be vegan in the crater of a volcano in a developing country, so can you if you really want to, you know?